Again, hello, I'm TychoCelchuuu, and this is a Company Heroes 2 match simultaneously being live cast on Twitch.tv and posted later to YouTube for the enjoyment of people all around the world in various and sundry locations. Perhaps you're watching this on a boat, perhaps you're watching this in a moat, perhaps you watch it in a car, perhaps you watch it near and far. The match is between Dave, playing as the OKW, we're on Langriskaya, and up against Sex Pistol, a common person in my shoutcasts. And we have a Kubelwagen coming out first, Flux Creator coming out second, Conscript coming out first, and J for Jet, who's in my Twitch chat, has money on Dave winning. So place your bets now, friendos. Rubber Luck says Dave stomps. J for Jet says personally he's harder for me to beat than Love Nest or Nogano. And Boris the Potato says, oh, some late night streaming. It is 7 o'clock where I am, 1900. So Kubel into Folk, and then Conscript into Maxims, because we had a tier 2 build right off the bat by the Soviets. Cool. So that means the Soviets are at a bit of a capture disadvantage. We already have 2 points captured by the Germans, and 2 more being capped, whereas the Soviets are at like 1.5, more like 2. A simple touch for the win, says Tycho Screaming, and then has a big excited face. Boris Potato says Dave has no idea who the sex guy is, also a hole. Hard for me to understand, but everyone knows Sex Pistol, right? They're the Sex Pistols. They're a classic punk band. So this is going to be a tough thing to fight this early in the match for the Soviets, except it's the Maxim, here to save the day. So I was about to say it's also tough to fight because the Kubel's fast enough that it can sort of get itself into the fight and win, but oh, that Maxim was a little too far, it seems, to save the conscripts from having to retreat. But that's not a big deal, we're pretty close to the Soviet base. A bigger deal is if this fuel point goes down. It looks like the fuel point is going down. The Maxim, interestingly, retreating. Ooh, it's got a jockey for position. I wasn't expecting it to stay there the whole time. Already those Sturmpios were trying to flank it, but yeah, that's a good reposition. Catches the Sturmpios straight up. They're going to have to pause. Yep, called it. Pause behind the green cover. That asshole seems like maybe he's peeking his head out. He's not going to count as being in green cover, in which case the squad can get suppressed, but I don't think that's happening. I think he does count. You can see the little dot right there. And the Sturmpios fucking have the DPS if they're behind green cover to hurt the Maxim enough that it's got to pull back. That was a wise reposition, and Dave's like, fine, you're repositioning, I too can play at that game. My Sturmpios are going over here, and so are my Flux Grenadiers. And meanwhile, Kubelwagen's just capping the entire left-hand side of the map, so things going pretty well for the OKW. The Soviet not getting creamed too badly in these fights, but is getting creamed map control-wise. So pretty bad news for the Soviet player in terms of how these things are going to go. Dave has already gone breakthrough, Doctor and break on through to the other side. Try to run, you try to hide. Classic Doors song. Does anyone still listen to the Doors these days? Anyone a Jim Morrison fan? You like him young and blonde. So that's already picked. Why? Is it for breakthrough tactics? Nobody knows. It's a mystery. Can anybody read Dave's mind, the inscrutable mind of Dave? I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that. Who knows what you're thinking? Look at this map. Do we have a Sturm Officer completed? Did I see? It must have been Sturm Officer unlocked. Clearly you didn't build one. I briefly had a heart attack. I thought he had built a Sturm Officer, but he didn't. J for Jet says, I think my USF is better than his, and his OKW is better than mine. So we're seeing a maestro of the OKW play. Certainly understandable, given that he's capped the left-hand side of the map, and one thing that separates the good players from the better players is that the better players really know when to pull back. We see Dave giving up a lot of territory here, giving up this point, giving up this point, giving up this point, giving up this point without a fight. Dave has completely moved off that part of the map, has now reconsolidated in the middle, and these infantry went back to base. There's some medical supplies built for the Sturm Pioneers. We got Battle Group headquarters going up. So Dave has completely given up the map, knowing it's going to take his opponent time to spread out and take the map. It's going to force his opponent to sort of reveal a lot of positioning by spreading out like this, so Dave knows exactly where it is, and now we see how Dave is on the assault as opposed to on the defense, although I suppose Dave was on the assault earlier in that fight between the Sturm Pioneers and the Maxim. So let's see how it goes. It's going really well over here. The Kubelwagen putting up more damage than would have expected with the help of these Flux Grenadiers. Over here, Dave is constantly suppressed by some Maxims, so that's interesting. We swap out the conscripts for another squad of conscripts who oorah into the green. Interesting incendiary grenade, getting them out of the cover, probably totally worth it because we have a Kubel here, taking some big damage on the Volksgrenadiers. The engineers are here. The flank is somehow they're not. Now they're finally suppressed. I was wondering why it was taking them so long to get suppressed. They're finally suppressed. So for those keeping score at home, the assault over here I would say is a mixed success. Did a lot of damage to the conscripts, but wasn't able to push them completely off the point. I guess actually it was no, it wasn't. That Kubel's going to be gone out of there pretty soon. And the assault over here I'd say mixed success to failure. The Maxim shut. Was that just one Maxim? No, it was two Maxims. Thank you. I'm not insane. The Maxims really shut down that assault. So great positioning by Sex Pistol, managed to repel the very dangerous OKW fighting force with some good placement and some good micro over here. Both players were handling that micro pretty well. The Soviet player, by the way, I believe was mostly shooting at the Volksgrenadier squad during that fight. There was that big tempting Kubel hanging out there in the middle of the fight, but it was only near the end of the fight when the Volksgrenadiers were gone, I think, that the Soviet player shot at the Kubel, which is number one, a tough thing to accomplish because anytime you give your unit a move order and then they auto-fire, they're going to shoot at the Kubel because it's got the highest target priority. That's a good little tip to know. And second, that's an interesting choice to make, right? A lot of players would have focused the Kubel, try and get it out of there because it's the bigger damage dealer than the Folks, but no. The Soviet player realized the danger here is the Volksgrenadiers. I want to force them to retreat first, and later I'll deal with the Kubelwagen. What's the Twitch chat saying? We got a nice conversation between Boris the Potato and J for Jet, talking about not the game, so we'll ignore it right now. We got a good flank on these Volksgrenadiers coming in. They're threatening with the incendiary grenades, so the Maxim pulls out before that happens, and the conscripts will be here to just do a bit of chip damage. So overall, Soviets still on the back foot. The map control is decidedly in the hands of the OKW, but it's not all over yet. Soviet player hasn't taken any crazy losses and could still come back. But this is still great OKW play. It's just surprising that having repelled that attack, the Soviet player was still forced to pull back and not able to turn that into some sort of assault. Soviet player doing the best he can to just hang on to what he's got, which that's not good enough. That's not good enough because what you got is not enough. You hear what I'm putting down? And we have an AT gun coming out. Meanwhile, tech-wise, when's the next truck come? Can you see the truck timer? Is there some way to see the OKW truck timer? That's not the truck. Called them Fallschirmjägers, or not Panzer Fusiliers. Why do I call them Fallschirmjägers? Called them some Panzer Fusiliers. So I'd like to see when the next truck comes, because that'll, I suspect, be a tech building, right? Not a lot else to do with the fuel. Or maybe he'll just build, I don't know. We'll see. J for Jet said, OK trucks are now manual. What? What? OKW trucks are manually built? When did they change this? We'll have to go talk about that once this fight is over. What? What, guys? My world. My world has been rocked to the core. I shouldn't have only been playing Soviets since I came back. I should try the other fucking factions. Jesus. Okay, this fight is not... Nothing's happening. So what is it? Jesus, you have to buy it. Crazy. This changes my whole... This is like learning that, like, God doesn't exist or something. Except much more upsetting. Storm Pioneers were really not having a fun time there. They lost a model right off the bat, but then they won the fight because there's all these this machine gun here and so on. So, yeah, so good usage of houses. Soviet players been hanging around these houses. Good usage of Maxims, but still on the back foot, not able to push out and get anything done. Over on the right in Twitch chat, what you didn't know that TychoCelchuuu. Look, I was gone for Company Heroes 2 for like a year. And I come back, and I've only been playing Soviets. So stuff like the truck being manually built, I wouldn't know. Nobody ever mentions it in casts because everybody knows it. Here comes a barrage. Oof! Overshoots. Undershoots. The barrage, which was supposedly recently buffed. And it's over now. Really cost-effective barrage right there. Really gave him the old what for? Gave him the old 1-2 punch. Gave him the old 9 yards. Gave him the old screw you. Gave him the old up yours. Gave him the old everything old is new again. This guy's petrified. Classic war movie sort of thing where the new member of the squad is just petrified by his first sight of combat and death. Looks exactly like that. straight out of the thin red line. J for Jet said not to flame you, but they've been long like that long before I've started playing, since about a year and a half ago. Year and a half. Maybe I've been gone a year and a half? I don't know. How long have I been gone? Somebody do the math. I've been gone a while. That's the and the bigger takeaway is I've only been playing Soviets, so I don't know anything about any of the other factions. I honestly didn't know a lot about British before I left either, because I didn't own them for a while. What's going on? So we have 3 Maxims and still the AT gun. We don't have any. It's been that way since release. Great, simple touch. Nice job. Nice trying to gaslight me. You can't do that. You can't gaslight me. I'm a strong-willed individual. What is this? Where is this man's other... Where's the rest of your squad? Where is the rest of your squad? They're back here. That guy, well, you were in the Vanguard. You paid for it with your life. I hope that was worth it. So we have the Tango V Battalion command completed. Tier 3 for the Soviets. This prophylactic AT gun has yet to get a kill. Did get a barrage off, but nothing more than that. And Dave is just like, look, I got this. I got some infantry. I'm just gonna play with my infantry. I bought a squad of Panzer Fusiliers. They got a couple kills, nothing shabby there. And I'm gonna make it happen with just what you see. I'm gonna let my opponent dump more and more into teching, and make my decisions based on that. But suddenly the AT gun is very slightly paying off. In theory, a good indirect artillery fire weapon, but in practice, could be better, could be worse. Like I said, ostensibly buffed. Buffed it by reducing the number of shots it fires, because apparently that's a buff. So we have a second Panzer Fusilier squad, so Dave, again, holding back on the fuel commitments until he knows what's up. He did build Tier 4, though. I neglected to mention that because I neglected to notice that. The Kubowagen, I feel like, has been slightly underutilized lately, but as we talked about 4 or 5, maybe 6 or 7 casts ago, if you watch on my YouTube channel, it is kind of annoying what you want to do with a Kubowagen once the game progresses to this point, and chances are it's just going to die instantly. So this poor Maxim, that's what happens when you sit up in red cover, guys. That's just, that's life in the red. A new TV show coming to Fox this fall. Life in the red. Shift your cover, keep them guessing, says the man who is lying down flat on the ground, not moving at all, looking behind him as if there may be something there. I'll never understand these people. They're inscrutable, folks. Completely inscrutable. Oh, they're fucking joined at the hip. This is one of those 3-legged races. Yeah, they're tied together. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Fusiliers living up to their expectations, which is really not too impressive. Oh, now we have the teching. The Soviet has tipped their hand now. We have an SU-76 out from the Tier 3 that was recently purchased, and so now I expect once this SU-76 shows its face, once it fires a shot, which is yet to happen. How many kills? It's 4 kills. Okay, you're making a name for yourself, given that you were bought to fight vehicles. It's acceptable. And the Soviet player also, by the way, clawing their way back onto the map. Things are happening. The Soviet player is making things happen. But the real question now is that now that this SU-76 is here, he's pulled the trigger on his next piece of tech. That's it for the Soviet player in terms of fuel for a while. He's blown his load. And the German player is going to know this. No, I want the German fog of... Fuck you, video game. Give me the German's fog of war. I want to see the German view. Show me what the German can see. Oh, this is not at all what I want. There's no fucking way to... God damn it. I give up. Well, I think they know the SU-76 is here, because now it's bombarding. Okay, so the German player knows the SU-76 is here, so now the ball is in Dave's court. Dave is also getting pushed back enough that Dave has got to be thinking about what's my next teching going to be. I've got the resources, I've got the 500 manpower, I've got the 200 fuel. I don't have the 8 CPs I need for my fucking Yog Tigers, so what am I going to do? I've got my Tier 4. What's it going to be? Ooh, Romeo CoH is in Twitch chat. Spam left and right square bracket. Okay. I don't get it. So we're up to 4 Maxims now, 3 being built, and a 4th in the hopper, so to speak. Romeo CoH says not in chat. Oh. Oh! We're changing whose fog of war we can see. As someone who's been casting CoH2 literally before it came out, I know at one point I looked at those hotkeys and immediately forgot them. But I'll never forget that. Romeo, you've given me a gift. The gift of a king. The gift of a prince who later becomes a king because he murders his father. That's more of a Hamlet thing than a Romeo thing. Anyways, let's drink poison together and die. So this SU-76 has been fasted for reasons that I think are unclear even to Dave, because there's no follow-up, like, even on the map, let alone close by. What are you just gonna fast it and then what? What's your plan? What's your end game? What's your 3 moves ahead? What's your goal here? What are you trying to accomplish with this fast? What are you doing? Just trying to dump some munitions, and munitions burning a hole in your pocket? I admit, if anything's gonna burn a hole in your pocket, it's the explosive thing, but still. Very strange choice. Completely inscrutable. Someone want to explain that one to me, I would be eternally grateful. King Tiger incoming, says Florist Man. That's a lot of CP away. Oh, no, not the King Tiger. This is the King Tiger. Oh, maybe we do have tier, whatever you want to call this, tier 3, tier 2, I don't know what you call the tiers. For any of the teams in this game. People seem to have tier numbers that they think work for them, but I think they're deluding themselves. The eternal question is whether tier 0 is tier 0 or tier 1, and everything springs from that, and it's just impossible to decide. But we could actually be getting a King Tiger. We could get all 4 OKW tiers, and then why the hell not get a King Tiger, right? That could be the teching choice from Dave, because I said that it was going to be a game of once this SU-76 comes out, Dave pulls the trigger on the thing, but it hasn't happened. I lied. I've been lying. Dave has just been fighting his way back into the patch without the teching. I feel like I've been talking a lot of macro. Let's start talking micro. Let's get real deep into one of these fights. Here's some Panzer Fusiliers being a bunch of assholes, being a bunch of dickholes like they usually are. The Panzer Fusiliers are the biggest dickholes in Company Heroes too, if you didn't know that. They're getting suppressed by a Maxim over here, they're getting shot by engineers over here, these conscripts are all up in their grill, and they're like, nah, brah, we smashed Natty Lights or whatever, we're gonna stick around. And it's like, no, you're too big of a dickhole, that's not gonna happen. So they eventually have to pull out, but only much later than they ought to have. Their pride was way too big. They were, of course, trying to keep that VP from being capped, because the Soviet player was fucked, VP-wise, but I'm gonna attribute it to their terrible personality. That's gonna be what's going on. And we have a Stuka Zafuse coming out, so that's going to be a teching choice by Dave. Interesting pick. J for Jet says, good old KT Rush. Well, it's not quite, I guess. It turns out not to have been a straight KT Rush. It looks like Dave may simply win without pulling the trigger on the next big piece of tech. I guess the Stuka Zafuse counts as a big piece of tech, because to get there, we had to tech to back tech to fucking tier whatever. And it's not like it's fuel costless. It's 100 fuel. That's not nothing. That's a lot of fuel. So that counts as the next big trigger pull. It's gonna do sweet fuck all versus the SU-76. I shouldn't have gone away from that grenade. I'm sorry. The Panzer Fusiliers can't even fucking get a break with their grenades. It's just a weak ass uncool grenade. It's like, it looks like a potato masher, so you think it's cool, but it's like, no, it's just a fucking piece of, it's just a stupid stick. Honeynut says he might cancel it. No, this is not that fucking cast. It's not fucking J for Jet fucking with us and building 3 Stuka Zafuses and then accidentally not canceling one. It's Dave. Dave doesn't fuck around. Dave is a solid guy. You can trust Dave with your wallet. He's not going to take money out of it when you're not looking, because he really built the Stuka Zafuse. And when you really build a Stuka Zafuse, you really fire a Stuka Zafuse. And I would just like credit for predicting 100% where that was going to fall. There were other options. There was that machine gun over here. There's even this building. There's these people over here. But I was 100% sure it was going for that AT gun. So please send your praise directly to my PayPal, which is TychoCelchuuu loves horse butts at gmail.com. That's not my actual PayPal. Please don't PayPal money to that address. It will go nowhere. They're talking about the Stuka in chat. The current going theories are that it's to wipe out the weapon crews and it's to have a bit of fun. My theory is that he owes something to the Stuka, and he's like, I'll give you, this is your chance, I'll let you play. I'll put you in, coach. Put me in, coach, says the Stuka. So that's a grenade. Sets a bunch of shit on fire. Not one of those fucking Panzer Fusilier grenades. How many kills do the Panzer Fusiliers have? 13? Okay, that I shouldn't really knock that in 5, so... But compared to conscripts, 12, 7, 6, yeah, those are numbers, guys. Those are numbers. Really not so great. How many do the Maxims? 4, 4, 12, 5. 12 kills with an Maxim, nothing to sneeze at. If you sneeze at 12 kills on a Maxim, you'd better be allergic to something. That had better be your excuse. Guys. Ooh. Painful. Painful, but, you know, sometimes through pain, we find strength. Panzer Fusilier grenade, they're at half health, so, oh, still doesn't do jack shit. I don't know why I have it in for Panzer Fusiliers. I actually buy them every once in a while. Like, I purchase them and I use them, and I'm like, I hope they work. I just felt like being an asshole to them. It's not going over there, huh? That's strange. Well, you managed to kill a conscript, I think. I was hoping to catch probably a lot more people, but the Panzer Fusiliers and the Fusiliers were too effective, forced to retreat a little before the Stukas of Fuse fired, and Dave was just like, fuck it, I'll do it anyways. Still just 8 kills. Got a lot of craters here. That's definitely the most cratery part of the map. Hey! Kupovagon's still alive. One vet. So I don't know. Do you get a prize for keeping a Kupovagon alive to the end of the match? Does somebody from Relic like send you a little letter or certificate or something saying like, congratulations, citizen. You, of all people, kept your silly little Nazi Jeep alive to the end of a match. We have a doctrine picked. Where's the incendiary coming? Middle? I thought middle, but no, it's over here. So we have a doctrine picked. One of my top doctrines, one of my favorite top doctrines, one of my tippy top doctrines. I love this thing because you can cloak your AT gun, you can call down some incendiary artillery, you've got IS-2s. I still have a soft spot for shock troops, despite the fact that apparently they suck. You gotta wonder at some point, is the Kubo worth the pop cap, says Honey Nuts. Yep, that's one of those questions. What the mother was that? Oh no, I have to take it back. Somehow the mono grenade killed me. What? But how did it kill everybody? Someone explain that shit to me. What happened? And that grenade ended up wiping that thing, basically. That was a fluke. I'm just gonna call it right now. Dave is a hacker. That couldn't have happened. I refuse to acknowledge that. This is a good 25-minute match. The Soviets still holding on, but it's looking like the end. I guess, how far are we from IS-2? We're not that far. We're honestly about 100 manpower from that. So if the Soviets can keep a hold of the VPs until the IS-2 comes out, maybe Dave just instantly loses, because if you're keeping track of the AT on the OKW, there's jack shit. I guess there's a Maxim, which doesn't even count. Like, let's be honest, that's not AT. It looks like a fucking... It's so goofy. That dude's firing it with his foot. Is this going in the middle? No, it's going over here. Clearly. Clearly, but not enough to wipe out this Maxim, which is unscathed, so they can hold on to the VPs long enough, and we're going to see this. Oh, except he's reinforcing, isn't he? Somewhere. He must be. Why doesn't he have manpower? It's been ticking up. We're so close, guys. I can taste the IS-2. You want to know what it tastes like? Socialism.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
This is just, we're waiting, guys. Oh, fuck you. Reinforcing your combat engineer squad? You have 7 VPs. Get your stupid tank before you... Jesus. Where are your priorities? Do you even know you have this coming? Do you even know this is an option? Do you know your doctrine comes with this? You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose now. The game's about to end. Oh, Dave moves out of the capture zone to try and get close enough to grenade that thing. And so, with that, the Soviet player does not lose. I'm so excited for this. It's coming. Click the button. Click. Yeah. Oh, yes. And so now Dave is kind of in some shit. You can try and win on VPs. It's not going to be the most impossible thing to cap 2 of the 3 VPs just wherever the IS-2 isn't. But, oof. That was a stun grenade. These guys are Vet 5. This is the hero Foxtrother squad. This flank is crucial. Oh, but the IS-2 is here. Okay, so now here is where Dave shits his pants. He's like, oh, right, I forgot. Anti-tank. Forgot about that. Forgot to get any of that ever. I never built any of that. There's none of that in my game. And now the AT gun is capping the middle point. The IS-2 is fucking over here, and this is nuts. Oh, he's 200 manpower from a KT, says J for Jet. That's what happens when you lose focus, guys. That's what happens when you're not paying attention. Paying attention to the game. You gotta have your head in the game. That's not where I'd fire my Stuka, but it doesn't matter. It just hits them. Oh, God. That is where I'd fire my Stuka. I take it back. Everything is perfect. That is GG. GG. That was nasty. That was dirty. That was, whew. He was like, I'll fucking drop it on my Panzer Fusiliers. I don't give a shit about them. They're not going to take any damage because they're magic, and it's going to wipe like 18 squads. That was dirty. So yeah, thank you people in Twitch chat for reminding me that the KT is coming. Can we see the KT? Where the fuck do you build that thing? We should be watching the fight. Sorry. Are we getting this? Are we getting the Yog Tiger? What do you think? I'd get a Yog Tiger. Romeo says, IS-2 has done like nothing, a T-70 would have done more damage. Done nothing? It's got 6 kills. And most importantly, it can't be fausted. T-70 would just get triple fausted. These guys can faust? Quadruple, septuple fausted. They can faust, yeah. It's an anti-tank rifle grenade, which is not a faust, but it might be a faust. T-70 doesn't have a 50 cal on top. Look at this. Can a T-70 do this? Plus this thing can cap points, so... It's basically just a fat old T-70. It's really impressive. Here we go. It is the Königstiger. So now, Soviets lose. I mean, the Soviets do have... Let's be fair. The Soviets have the AT gun. They also still have the Su-76, 6 kills, not very impressive. But that is a really good amount of AT versus the 0 AT for the Germans, except for the King Tiger. So there is a chance, however slim, that the Soviet player kills Lord Tiger, and there was much rejoicing. That's probably not going to happen. Here we go. Battle of the Titans. Su-76 is weighing in and doing nothing. Whoop, whoop. Here we go. The IS-2 misses a shot. That's not good. Maybe want to hold movement right before you fire. Ooh, we got a bounce. That's good luck for the IS-2. The AT gun is moving up. Unfortunately, there's a Maxim here. Probably regretting having given that. And look, we've popped breakthrough tactics. Just cause we're getting this over here. And here we go. It's the killing blow. It's the killing time. Under the killing moon, or whatever. Oh, decap. Decap. So those are 2 decap and 1 cap over here, which means the VP bleed is back on the menu, boys. And here comes the Stuka. I think it's over. I think it's over. The IS-2 just doing a little butt wiggle. I think it's over. It's over. Good game. Good game. Really just... Dave is really good. That's all I can say. Sex Pistol is not bad, but Dave is good. Dave is amazing. Yeah, so I would say go back through, watch this game 3 more times on YouTube to see how Dave sort of kept the Soviets pinned in his base with these sort of units. And the lesson here is that Panzer Fusiliers can suck a dick, but I grudgingly concede that they helped win this game, along with all these fucking Vet 4 and Vet 5 infantry. My god. Oh. And this guy's still alive.